Believe it or not, rest is a tough thing for many of us. I struggled with it for most of my life. And even though the Lord set up a pattern of work and rest in Scripture, many leaders who are driven to succeed don't adequately maintain their work-rest patterns. And chances are high that you don't maintain adequate rest in your life. And this design of work-rest goes back to the creation where God rested on the seventh day, but it continues as a great need even today. Mark 6:31 says, "And he said unto them, Come ye yourselves apart into a desert place, and rest a while. For there were many coming and going, and they had no leisure so much as to eat." We need to step back occasionally and remember that we were designed to take a break. We were designed to rest. And yes, I'm strategically talking about rest for this last session of the year because this is my last session of the year. I've chosen and planned in advance to take the month of December off from content creation to simply rest. I think it's been a tremendous year. I'm 8 months into starting my YouTube channel, podcast, and blog. It's been a great start, but I think it's time to spend a few weeks resting. And in this session, I want to share more about rest, including the most important ingredients to maintaining consistent, adequate rest. And at the end, I'll share with you the absolute biggest key to making rest a reality in your life. Hey there, I'm Ryan Franklin, and I would love for you to join me every week as we explore leadership topics that'll help you get the clarity needed to move your church or organization forward. Just hit the subscribe button and the bell to get notified as soon as I post a new session. And without any further delay, let's get to it. In the Old Testament, we have the promise of rest from God. And in the New Testament, we learn how to enter into that rest. And it all starts with Jesus Christ in our lives. It's in His presence that we find true rest. It's a spiritual rest. But that spiritual rest will eventually manifest as a physical and a practical rest if we're truly maturing and we're truly growing as a disciple of Christ. Most people live life running hard, tired, inadequate sleep, too much on their plates, and really eventually just burning out. It's just the way we do things. But reality is, everyone needs rest. And here's a few reasons why. First, your key relationships, especially your family, deserve your best. And in a day and age when families are disrupted more than any other time, we as Christian leaders need to set the example of consistent, quality time invested in our family and other important relationships in our life. And there's no way that's going to happen if we aren't allowing time away from our work and busy schedules to rest. When there's no time for rest, generally our closest relationships are the first thing to suffer. And second reason, if we're always worn out from inadequate rest, there's no way that we can give our best energy to the task that we're trying to complete. It's amazing how the worst can come out of us when we're the most tired and stressed. And in order to reduce those effects, we must rest. And then the third thing, when we rest, we remind ourselves that we aren't superheroes. It doesn't matter how talented you are. It's not the will of God for you to do everything. And it's crazy for you to think that your ministry or your organization or your church can't operate without you in the picture for a period of time. If that's the case for you, then there are greater things that need to be worked through. And I want to remind you that you're not a superhero. So when was the last time you weren't busy? I was thinking about this question the other day as I was preparing for this session. If someone asked me, how I'm doing, my usual answer is, I'm good, but just really busy. And it's true. I am really busy much of the time. And so if I'm not intentional about rest, I'm always busy, often too busy. And it's because we're addicted to being busy. Busy is the new normal. We default to just being busy. And if you're in a constant state of busyness, you've got to figure out how to change something. And I'm here to tell you, it is possible to be highly productive, but not too busy. And it's really more of a mindset shift than anything else. And so today I've got a few things that will help you be more intentional about rest. The first thing is understand the difference between busy and productive. Busy people are exhausted and overwhelmed, but productive people do excellent work, but they also enjoy life and live in the moment as well. This is a key mindset shift to give yourself permission to do good work and to rest and enjoy life. The second thing is, I want you to think, I choose to. The Lord made us with the ability to choose. So instead of thinking I've got to, think I choose to. Again, it's just a mindset shift. But despite what it may feel like at times, you're in control of what you do with your time and energy. It's a choice. When you make this shift, you're essentially taking responsibility for your actions, for what you're doing and what you're not doing. And so if something is dragging you down or keeping you from having a healthy work-rest balance, when you know that you have the ability to choose, then you have the ability to healthily and kindly say no if you need to. Which leads me to my third point. Actively say no. If we desire to have adequate rest, we have to learn to actively say no when we want to or need to. And remember, the Lord made us with the ability to choose, and therefore we can say no when it's needed. Now, I do understand that we all have to do things we don't enjoy from time to time if we desire to be a team player and keep our organizations running and make progress in our lives. However, there's tons of frivolous things that we do that we may need to say no to in order to gain back some space in our life, to have margin and rest in our lives. And so the fourth thing I want to tell you is don't be out of control. That's what happens when we take on too much and don't have space to rest. We get out of control. And so pace yourself, take on the right tasks and events in your life that make you successful and productive and in control. I love to do leisure things with my kids like softball and baseball and hunting, and I've got other side things that I enjoy doing, but I don't take on too many of those things at one time. And I don't allow those things to push out some of the most important things in my life, like involvement in my local church and involvement in friends and families' lives. And when you find yourself in the rat race of life and out of control, that's when rest decreases, including your mental rest, and it impacts your productivity, and it decreases your overall enjoyment of life. The fifth thing that's going to help bring rest is live with purpose. If you're not clear on your purpose, it's almost impossible to say no to the wrong things and yes to the right things. Without a clarity of purpose, we take on too many things that leave us busy and unfulfilled. What do you feel the Lord is tugging on you to achieve in your lifetime? Who are the people that will help you get there? What are the things that you need to do to move that direction? Because when you're clear about the things that you should be doing, you become much clearer about the things you shouldn't be doing. And finally, I saved the biggest key to making rest a reality in your life for last. Number 6, embrace your limits. And I think the absolute biggest key to making rest a reality in your life is embracing those limits. It takes humility. It takes recognizing that you can't do it all, recognizing that you do have limits, and having the freedom to respect those limits. And so embrace your limits. Okay, so let's close this out by getting real practical with an exercise that'll help you create time to rest in December. I want you to ask yourself these questions. First thing, what are the top 3 most important things to accomplish in the month of December? And if you're listening to this in another month, think about it in that particular month. But think about the big picture and what's going on to move you towards that big picture. Number 2, the second thing, what can I remove from my to-do list and my schedule that doesn't help me achieve those 3 big things? You may have a ton of things that would be good to do, but they just don't line up with those 3 big things. And if you'll remove those things, it'll create margin. And then move on to the third and last question here. How can I create opportunities for rest each week in the month of December? And what do I need to do to protect it? Those are 3 big, huge questions that can help you create rest in your December. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found value from this session, I would greatly appreciate you hitting the like button or writing a review, and also sharing this content on your favorite social media sites. It just helps me extend my reach. I hope you have a great day. God bless you.